Cancer patients are always asked how they're doing, but how often do we ask their partners? Almost never. In today's video, I'm breaking down what we learned from 159 studies about what partners actually experience, struggle with, and need during the cancer journey. Welcome to the Colorectal Cancer Outcomes Research channel. I'm Dr. Mary De Vera, a colorectal cancer patient turned researcher. Here, I break down colorectal cancer research, both from my own work and from around the world, so you can feel informed, confident, and supported. I've spent the last 7 years studying the experiences of people with cancer, their treatments, their outcomes, their quality of life. But I always knew I wanted to do a study about partners. Why? Because years ago, when a close friend was diagnosed with cancer, their partner quietly said something I've never forgotten. They always ask about them, but no one asks about me. That moment stayed with me. And when I later went through my own cancer diagnosis, I noticed the same thing. People checked in on me, but very few asked how my partner was coping. It made me realize that partners carry so much of the emotional and practical weight of this disease, yet their experiences are rarely studied and even more rarely acknowledged. That's why I did this research, to make their stories visible. This is my first cancer research study published in 2026. To truly understand what partners experience, I turned to the scientific literature. My team searched major medical and psychology databases and uncovered nearly 16,000 articles. After screening carefully, we included 159 studies representing the voices of 3,042 partners across a wide range of cancers: breast, prostate, colorectal, brain, head, neck, and blood cancers. And when we brought all these stories together, 4 major themes emerged, capturing what partners feel, what they go through, and what they need. Let's start with the first theme we found: how dramatically roles and relationships can change when a cancer enters a couple's life. Across the studies, partners described something almost universal. One day, they were a spouse, a companion, a better half, and suddenly they were a caregiver. That shift happened fast. It changed daily routines, household responsibilities, communication, and intimacy. Partners talked about taking on medical tasks they never imagined, helping with wound care, medications, feeding, navigating appointments, making treatment decisions, or monitoring symptoms at home. And while doing all that, they were also trying to keep the relationship itself intact. For some, intimacy became harder, not because of the relationship itself, but because of the patient's cancer experience, physical side effects, fatigue, and shifts in body image. This theme shows us that partners aren't just helping out, they're rebuilding their role in the relationship, often suddenly and without preparation. The second theme we found was about how overwhelming the cancer journey can feel for partners. Not because of the tasks themselves, but because of the emotional and mental load that comes with them. Partners talked about worrying all the time. Worry about side effects, worry about each scan, worry about the future, and the fear of saying or doing the wrong thing. Many described the kind of emotional juggling act, trying to stay positive for the patient, hiding their own fear. A lot of partners said they felt like they were on alert 24/7. Even when the patient slept, they couldn't fully rest. Even when they were at work, their mind was at home. This constant vigilance was draining. Financial pressure added another layer. Time off work, travel for treatment, new expenses, it all added up and it added stress. And then there was loneliness. Partners often lost social time, hobbies, or simple breaks, not because they wanted to, but because the cancer journey didn't leave room for them. Across the studies, one thing was clear: partners weren't just doing more, they were feeling more. More fear, more stress, more responsibility, more pressure to stay strong. The third theme we found was about how partners cope, the things they do to get through incredibly hard moments and keep themselves going. Across the studies, partners use all kinds of strategies. Some were practical, some were emotional, some were deeply personal. Many partners cope by seeking information, learning everything they could about the cancer, treatment, options, side effects, and how to support their loved one. For them, knowledge was a way to feel prepared and in control. Others leaned on faith, spirituality, or cultural practices, finding grounding in prayer, rituals, or belief systems that gave them strength. Some partners cope by focusing on small routines, like exercise, journaling, walking the dog, or maintaining one part of normal life. These little anchors gave them moments of stability. Social support mattered too. Talking with family or friends, joining support groups, or connecting with people going through similar experiences helped partners feel less alone. And then there were couples who coped by leaning into each other, being more open, communicating more honestly, and finding a deeper sense of partnership in the process. The fourth theme we found was one of the hardest to read across so many studies. Partners often don't get the support they need. Even though they're central to the cancer journey, many partners said they felt invisible. They were left out of conversations, left out of appointments, left out of follow-up care, left out of decision-making. And when partners did speak up, many said they wanted clearer information, what to expect from the cancer, how to manage symptoms at home, what changes were normal, and when to seek help. They also wanted emotional support, space to ask questions privately, express fears, or talk about their own well-being without feeling guilty or selfish. Across all 159 studies, the message was the same. Partners were doing so much but receiving so little support in return. And that gap matters, because when partners have what they need, patients do better too. Now, I didn't want the study to stay on paper. I wanted to turn what we learned from these 159 studies into something partners can truly use, something practical, compassionate, and rooted in lived experience. That's why I created the CCOR Guide for Partners of Patients with Cancer. It brings together what we learned about coping, the strategies that help, the supports that matter, the moments that build resilience, and turns it into a resource you can share with any partner or caregiver walking through cancer. I truly hope you find this helpful, whether you're a patient, a partner, a caregiver, or someone who simply wants to understand the cancer journey more deeply. If this video resonated with you, it would mean a lot if you could like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who might benefit. It also helps this work reach more people who need it. And before you go, I'd love to leave you with one small but meaningful request. If you have a partner who has walked beside you through cancer, could you ask them something for me? Ask them, how are you doing? Really. Thank you for being here, and to the partners out there, I see you.